All right, let's talk about this. Look, there are a million guides out there on how to set up a US LLC if you're not a resident. But here's the thing, setting it up, that's actually the easy part. Today, we're going way beyond the basics. We're gonna build the real operational playbook for actually running that company from anywhere in the world. So let's get into it. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's not just about getting a piece of paper that says you're a company. It's about building a real solid structure that actually works. One that lets you get paid by clients, stays on the right side of the law, and, this is huge, legally protects your income. We're gonna break the answer down into 3 critical pillars. Okay, first up, the foundation, the legal entity itself. This is the bedrock of your entire US operation. Before you can even think about anything else, you have to build this shell. And your very first strategic decision is deciding where to build it. So you've basically got 2 main choices that pop up again and again, Delaware or Wyoming. Now, Delaware is the big name, right? It's the one everyone's heard of. But if you look closer, for most online businesses run from another country, Wyoming is kind of the insider's choice. You get the exact same high level of privacy, but it's way faster and cheaper to get off the ground. We're talking getting it done in a matter of days, not weeks.
The process itself is actually pretty straightforward. Just 4 core steps. First, you pick your state. Then you hire a formation company. And you have to do this because US law says you need something called a registered agent, which is basically just a physical address in that state that can get official mail for you. They file the paperwork and boom, you're officially formed. But hold on, don't pop the champagne just yet. The real key that unlocks everything else is your employer identification number, or AIN.
And here is a huge game-changing shortcut that most people just completely miss. Your formation company, they'll offer to get the EIN for you. But what they usually do is just mail in the form, which can take weeks, sometimes over a month. Here's the pro move. You call the IRS yourself. You can literally get your EIN over the phone in a single call. That one action can save you a ridiculous amount of waiting around.
All right, let's move on to pillar number 2. See how this all builds on itself? You've got your LLC, you've got your EIN. Now you need the financial engine to actually get money into the business. And the goal here isn't just to open one account. It's to build a resilient system, one that won't fall apart on you. Imagine this, because it happens to thousands of founders. You're running everything through a popular service like Wise, and then one day, bam, you get an email. Your account is frozen or closed with almost no warning. All of a sudden, your business's cash flow is completely choked off. This is exactly why having a plan B, and honestly, even a plan C, is absolutely non-negotiable.
So, what do these backup plans look like? Well, you'll be looking at what are called electronic money institutions, or EMIs. Airwallex is a really strong, reliable alternative to Wise. But the key here is to choose your backup strategically. It's not one size fits all. You know, if you're in a country like Pakistan where options are slim, Payoneer is a fantastic choice. If you're from a really tough jurisdiction like Venezuela, GetMeU might be your best shot. And for entrepreneurs in Europe, Revolut is a super popular option. The point is, you have to match the service to your specific needs. Okay, so your legal shell is built. Your financial engine is running. Now for the third and maybe the most important pillar, the tax shield. This is all about knowing the rules so you can legally keep the income you're earning without giving a huge chunk of it away to US taxes. The single most important tool in your entire arsenal is this form, the W-8BEN. Think of it as your official declaration. You're not sending it to the government, you're giving it to the US company that's paying you, and you're certifying, hey, I'm not a US person for tax purposes. And by the way, if you have a multi-member LLC, you just use this similar W-8BEN E form. Same idea. So why is that little declaration so incredibly important? Because of this number, 30%.
Without a valid W-8BN form on file for you, any U.S. company that pays you is required by law to automatically withhold 30% of your payment and send it straight to the IRS. That is the default, and it's a massive, totally unnecessary loss of your hard-earned money. Now, here's another critical detail that almost everyone gets wrong. I'm going to say it again. You do not send this form to the IRS. This is a huge misconception. The form just lives in the records of the person or the company that is paying you. It's their proof. It's their justification for not withholding that 30%. So it protects them, which in turn protects your payment. But wait, it doesn't stop there. Depending on where your home country is, you might be able to lower that tax withholding even more. The US has tax treaties with dozens of countries. So if you're earning specific kinds of income, like royalties or dividends, you can use these treaties to knock that rate down from 30% to 15% or 10%, and in some cases, all the way down to 0. All right, let's tackle our final pillar. You've got the structure, you've got the banking, and you've got the tax shield. But the rules of the game can change. Staying on top of compliance is absolutely essential for the long-term health of your entire business. And a perfect example of this is the whole recent saga around the Corporate Transparency Act. On January 1st, 2024, it became law. It required most small businesses to report who their owners are to the government. But then, just 2 months later, a federal court threw a giant wrench in the works. So what happened? That court down in Alabama ruled the act was unconstitutional, saying it was a massive overreach of power. The immediate effect of that? It's basically created a temporary pause on enforcement. The government can't really force anyone to comply right now, but everybody expects them to appeal that decision, which leaves everything in this weird state of uncertainty. So what does this legal mess actually mean for you? Well, the advice is surprisingly simple. It all just depends on when you formed your LLC. If you created it anytime in 2024, the safest move is just to go ahead and file the report. But if your company existed before 2024, your deadline isn't until January 1st, 2025. So the smart play here is to just wait, see how all the legal challenges shake out later this year before you submit anything.
And that brings us full circle. Building your US LLC, that's just the first step on the ladder. Operating it successfully means having a resilient financial setup, a really smart tax strategy, and keeping a sharp eye on a regulatory landscape that's always changing. So the real question is, now that the foundation is in place, are you truly ready to manage it for the long haul? Thanks for tuning in.